part one, I tried to find a no more than 2-year-old full electric car for no more than £10,000. So did we hit that target? Well, this is the outcome. It's the Seat Me, and at the time it was 2 years old. It's a 2021 reg. It was registered in August. That's when we bought it. So yes, the 2 years, bang on target, almost to the day in fact. But what about the price? Did we get that for £10,000? Well, the answer is after this intro. I'll be honest, no, we didn't pay £10,000. Unfortunately, and I'm gutted at this was £10,200. I mean, that's close enough, isn't it? You can give me that. So yeah, we didn't quite hit the target, but quite frankly, a no more than 2-year-old car, even in petrol world, you're doing well to get it under £10,000. Let me give you a bit of a comparison really, just so you know what the market's at the moment, because in my mind, 10 grand used to get you a brand new car, but no longer. For example, one of the most popular cars in the UK, the Ford Fiesta, a no more than 2-year-old car, so that's a 71 reg as I'm filming this, £12,250. That's the cheapest one on Auto Trader, the cheapest. Obviously it's a little bit bigger than this, so let's look at something a bit more comparable. The Volkswagen Up, the petrol version of that, it's literally the same car, it's just petrol instead of electric. That's going for £11,250, 71 reg. So that's £1,000 more than this. And EVs are typically more expensive on the used market. So the fact that we're getting it cheaper, that we've got that price parity almost, that's really good. Depreciation means that the used market is, well, more affordable, which is what people have spent years complaining about. They're too expensive. Now they're too cheap. I'm not sure what you want, what you're expecting, but either way, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, you can buy a petrol car for just under 10 grand, like a Fiat 500 or something like that. I think this one's about 9.8. So we're pretty much there, but cars are a lot more expensive than people think, not just EVs. I've just looked at the cheapest Seat Me, and a 21 red plate, so that's over 2 years old. That's 11.5 grand. Again, the cheapest one. So that's £1,300 more than I got this for. So this was a genuine challenge, one I almost made. 10-2, again, close enough. If you're looking for an EV, this, for me, pound for pound, is the best used electric vehicle on the market in this price bracket. So £9,000, £10,000, £11,000. If you're not looking for an EV, or you hate them, not sure what you're watching this channel for, you move along here. But this is brilliant. I think it's fantastic. I love it. I mean, genuinely so, to the point where I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and tell you that we're actually keeping this car. This is now ours. It's not a content car like the Zoe, where I bought it. Granted, tried to persuade the missus to keep it, but she was having none of it. This is ours. She loves it. I love it. It just ticks every single box of what you expect from what is a city car. It's clearly not going up and down the motorway. It's for the urban environment, the city driving, going to work and back, shops, that sort of thing. All the boring legwork that cars tend to do. This is what it will be doing. It'll be taking a lot of the miles off the Tesla. That's now become more of a longer range thing. But for work commuting and that sort of stuff, it's fantastic, which is why we're keeping it. The efficiency is off the charts. It's well spec'd. And for just over 10 grand, I think we've got a bit of a bargain. The reason why I went for the Seat Me instead of some of the other siblings, the Citigo and the Volkswagen Up, is because one, this is cheaper. I mean, like 1,500 quid to £2,000 cheaper than an identical one of them. And when I say identical, these are literally the same car, same production lines. The Skoda, the Volkswagen, the Seat. Everything's the same other than the badge and a few cosmetic changes. So why they're more expensive for essentially the same car is beyond me. The Seat does have the advantage of having only one trim level. So you've nothing to choose really other than what colour you want. So that means it comes with everything. The Skoda, as an example, has 2 trim levels. The entry level has no CCS, no rapid charging. I think that's bonkers. Why would you do that? So you have to get the top trim level Citigo to get that rapid charging, which means that you're looking about, again, £2,000 more than this. The Up, probably because of the Volkswagen badge, more expensive. They're the same car. Why? And if you ever wanted any evidence of badge snobbery, here it is. But for me, for a car, just a run around, a second car perhaps, whatever you're looking for, this is the plum one. Now, there were a couple of other close seconds, if you will, in terms of other options, no more than 2-year-old 10 grand. The Renault Zoe was probably the closest one after this. That, unfortunately, again, more expensive by about 1,500 quid-ish, unless you want one with hyper miles on it. And I would only get one with rapid charging. Another idiotic decision that a manufacturer have made. So in this case, Renault made it an optional extra on a car with a 50 kilowatt-hour battery. Why? And we said at the time when we reviewed it, this is stupid, which is why they reversed it about a year or so later and just made it standard. The Zoe is bigger, more practical, it's got a bigger battery, it's not as efficient, not as fun to drive. I just think everything that this says it can do, it does, and then more. So as we always say, the expectation is exceeded. So you're happy with your purchase. I'm sure that the Zoe would have been a great one as well. I'm not saying it isn't, but it wasn't around the 10 grand mark, so it just wasn't an option. Now, as I said, the cheapest Me at the moment is about, well, 11.5 grand. So how did we get this for £1,300 cheaper than the current cheapest one on Auto Trader? There are essentially several factors involved. 1, luck. That's always a thing you have to have on your side. 2, patience. I've been looking at the market for many months for various EVs, this included, and monitoring what's going on, seeing what the cheap ones come at and go for, and just basically doing lots of research. A little bit of haggling, that goes without saying, and ultimately just taking the opportunity when it comes up. About a month before I found this, I found essentially the same car again, but it was 10,100, and that was before any sort of bartering or haggling. I rung up on the Sunday after spotting it on the Saturday, and this was a dealer that were open all weekend, and it went an hour before I spoke to them. Gutted. With stuff like this, where you're trying to find the cheapest of something, and it really does help that I know or knew what I wanted. I'd already decided it's a Seat Me or a Renault Zoe, but almost certainly a Me, because the Zoes were just too expensive, but you never know what comes up. So as soon as one came up, again, there's only one trim level, so that's easy. They're all under 2 years old, because that's the whole point of the video. So any faults or errors, this has a fault, I'll show you in a second, but anything will get repaired under warranty for free. So the only question is there any cosmetic damage? That's literally it. So it was a case of ringing them up and going, right, is this what you say it is? Yes, it is. And I just bought it there and then over the phone. I think it had gone through its pre-inspection, or, when they do all the photographs and clean the car up, it had done that 2 hours, and this one, 2 hours before I rung up. It literally just gone on sale. I saw it, I thought, right, that'll do, and bought it straight away. Within an hour, I was on a train to Wakefield. An hour and a half later, I was driving it back home again. You've just got to take your opportunity when it comes up sometimes. Obviously, some haggling was involved. This was advertised slightly higher than I got it for. Yorkshire-based charm, what can I say? This is the interior. Again, identical to the other stuff, the other clones, only you get red writing on this. I think it's green in the Skoda and, I don't know, maybe blue or something in the Volkswagen. So you've got heated seats. You've got the quick clear windscreen, as in the actual, the filaments inside. You can sort of see the zigzags in there. And you've got the most advanced system in terms of sat-nav and audio entertainment system. It's the most advanced in the world. So let me show you what I mean by most advanced entertainment system. Essentially, it uses your smartphone in this dock. Google Maps, anybody? It's like CarPlay, but without the CarPlay. Obviously, you've got all your Spotify and all the apps you have on your phone just at hand. And it links with this, of course. In what might save me a trip to Seat, which is going to be a pain because it's not that close to me, this is what happens when I try the heated seats on the driver's side. So on the passenger side, it works fine. But on here, it just does that once. It never works. Is that the switch? Is it something in the seat? If it's a quick fix or even a 10, 20, 30 quid fix, I'll do it myself, because then it saves me having to go all the way to Saya. But any ideas, anybody? The one issue I did have though is to get they've got another app as well that enables you to turn the climate control on remotely, and see what charge the car's on, for example, and see if it's locked or not, like the Tesla app and whatnot. That took 7 weeks to get working, because they had to activate the SIM card, and then I had to wait for an app update. The SIM card thing took 3 or 4 attempts with talking to someone in Spain, I think it was. It took forever, but now it's up and running. It's fine. It actually works surprisingly well. So all the eco stuff you've got in there, you can see what the car's doing, current consumption as you're driving along, the charge level. I mean, you've got reverse parking sensors. Not that you need it in a car this size, but why not? So it's well spec'd, I have to say. I mean, at the moment it's 4 degrees, and the efficiency I'm about to mention is over the last 1,137 miles, and it's doing 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour in October and November. I mean, 4.7. I've been getting probably 3.7 out of the Tesla, and that's just normal driving. That's not economical driving at all. I reckon this would be 5.2, 5.3 if I drove it economically. We're just using it as a car, heating, all the usual stuff. I know it's a small car, but Zoes and other Honda E's and things like that, they don't get this level. Considering this is not a ground-up EV, it's a modified petrol car. Why did they only make it for a year or so? Why did they stop it? The car's brilliant. It was brilliant before in petrol form. Just keep going. It's even surprisingly refined for a car this size. It's quiet. It's quick, relatively speaking. I mean, I had a little bit of a play, shall we say, with a Volkswagen Up GTI. And up to 40, I was winning. That instant torque, and it's got a fair bit of poke. It really propels you forward. It's nippy, it's fun to drive, it's chuckable. The wheels are right in the corner. Automatic wipers, automatic lights. The stereo's even half decent. What more can you ask for? The one thing it does do though, quite often, is if you put your foot down, it just spins its wheel. There you go, it just spins its wheels far too easily. The worst case in winter, I reckon this is still going to be doing 4 miles per kilowatt hour in sub-zero temperatures, maybe a fraction less with normal driving. I mean, 4 miles per kilowatt hour, it's got a 32, 33 kilowatt hour usable battery. That's what, 120 miles? I don't know, by modern standard, I can't go to John O'Groats and Land's End and back in that, but it's a city car, what do you expect? This is what we got in terms of efficiency in end of August, September. 6.3, I think it was. 6.3. I got 7.3 or something on an economical drive. I mean, look at the range at the bottom that the car thinks it's got with a full charge. And that, again, this is summer. 222 miles. It's above 200 mile range EV. It's got 32 kilowatt hour battery. When you're getting all these massive SUVs that they get like 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, or 3 if you're lucky. It just shows you how good it is. And it's got lane keep assist, but a button to turn it off. Yes! Apologies for the weather, but I've been doing this for ever. So yes, this is a 20,000 mile EV that I bought for £10,200, and it was 2 years old. I consider that a very, very good deal for me. Again, if you're not interested in EVs, then you're probably on the wrong channel. But if you are, this is definitely one to put on the potential list on the city car front. It depends what you're after, of course, but I don't know why they stopped selling it. It really baffles me. You've got 4 levels of regen, which are activated like a DSG gearbox. They were left to increase it to level 3. B mode for level 4, that's the hardest. Put it back to level 1 again. It gives you a level of interaction. And that's something which EVs tend to rob you of, like an automatic car. It's just point and shoot, which is good, it's efficient, but sometimes it's not very involving. I'm driving this more than the Tesla for work because it is A, the perfect commuter, B, it's a lot more efficient, so it costs less to run. I mean, we're looking at about 1.8 pence per mile, I think, charged at night. So for work, driving through Bradford and sometimes Leeds, site to site, I just prefer this real weirdly to the much more comfortable and quicker Tesla. Maybe it's because it reminds me of my first cars, that sort of size, that sort of feeling. Right guys, thank you ever so much for watching. This is the new EVM mobile, I guess, number 2. And I have to say, I see us keeping this for quite some time. Unless I get a BMW i3S and fall in love with that even more. But that's going to be a lot more expensive. So who knows where we'll end up. So yeah, driving home, second channel. This, subscribe, like, blah, 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 blah. Really does help the channel, blah, 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 blah. Become a member. Watch this on Sunday instead of Friday, blah, 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 blah. But you get the point. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.